Good evening, Bill.
Hi, Mary Alice. How are you?
I'm good. Deanna, we just got your final orders at 4:48. Are those the most recent ones?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me look at the time on the sent here. It's the ones where I corrected like the well, mine says 4:49, but it may just be that our computers don't like the same minute. But yeah, it starts with one update.
Yeah, one update. That's correct.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, it is 5 o'clock. We're going to reconvene our meeting. And if the clerk is here, can she please call the roll?
Yes, I'm here. Okay. Miss Wu,
Here.
Mr. Colebrook,
Here.
Phyllis Clark here. We have a little bit of an issue, and that is at 5:30. There will be another meeting going on here in the council chambers. Do you suppose that we're going to be that long? Okay.
I doubt it.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
So yesterday we left off with item in under F, outline of proceedings. Number 2, matters under consideration of the board when the hearing is complete. So we talked about that. Number 3 is vote on tentative decision when board has completed its deliberative subject to formal entry of final written decision. I believe that's where we're at in our agenda. Deanna, can you verify that?
That's correct.
Okay. So do we need to make separate motions on each case?
Yes.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion on our first case, and our first case is case number 2021, Landorf objection to Jones III election petition.
I'd be willing to make the motion. I just want to be clear. We're at number 3, correct? Or
We are at number 3 under the section F, outline of proceedings. Yes.
Okay, so I will make a motion to vote on a tentative decision regarding did you say the Megan, I'm trying to pay attention. You said the Megan McDonald case?
No, 2021 Langendorf objection to Jones III election petition. Which is case.
Okay, so my motion would be for case number 2020-002, Michael Langendorf petitioner, objector versus Verdell Jones III, respondent candidate.
So I'm sorry, go ahead, Deanna.
That's case number 1. That was the correction I sent you.
Okay, case number 1.
Yeah, thank you.
And the recommendation is?
For me, the recommendation would be to basically not allow his petition.
So object.
You can
to sustain the objection.
Or overrule.
To sustain the objection. Okay. All right. Do I have a second?
I second that.
All right. Moved by Bill, seconded by Phyllis. Is there any discussion on that tentative decision? All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Colebrook,
Yes.
Phyllis Clark, yes.
All right. That tentative motion passes on to our second case.
So I have to muddle through another motion here, huh? Okay, so I would offer a motion to consider the findings and recommendations regarding, so should I just say case number 2? Would that make it clear? And the
sustain or overrule.
Recommendation would be to not sustain the objection. Is that correct?
Overrule.
Overrule
the objection.
for case 2020-2. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right. Moved by Bill, seconded by Phyllis. Is there any discussion on that? All right. Seeing none, can the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Colebrook,
Yes.
Phyllis Clark, yes.
All right, the next item on the agenda is on the adoption of the final written decision. Deanna, do you want to walk us through the final decisions?
So let's take 2020-1 first, which is Langendorf versus Verdell Jones. I've provided you with the hearing officer's recommended decision. It outlines the background of the case, what issues were raised, what evidence we heard, and then makes finding of facts and conclusions of law. And the recommendation is that the objection be sustained, that the objector's relief be granted. Because it was not clear that Mr. Verdell, or it was pretty clear that Mr. Jones is not going to meet the residency requirement to have been in the city of Urbana for 1 year prior to the election. And further, none of his petitions meet the requirements of section 7-10 of the election code. And so for those reasons, I recommend that you declare those petitions invalid and that they be struck, and that his name not appear on the Democratic primary ballot for the city of Urbana consolidated primary election for the office of mayor.
Are there questions for Deanna? No, Deanna, I do have a question, which is if we when this comes up for a vote, do I have to restate does the person who wants to propose it have to restate that recommendation, or do we just state that we are sustaining the objection?
You're adopting the hearing officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Adopting the hearing officer's recommendation. All right. If there's no discussion, can I have a motion on the floor to adopt the hearing officer's recommendation?
I will offer a motion to adopt the hearing officer's recommendation regarding I believe we're doing the Michael Langendorf, Verdell Jones, case
Yes.
number 2020-002, case number 1. Okay.
And I second that.
All right. Moved by Bill and seconded by Phyllis. Is there any further discussion on this case?
Out of order if I speak. Can I just recommend or just let you know that once you make this decision and vote on it, you're required to have a written order. And so I've provided you a form written order that you will all need to sign, and then we will need to serve on the parties by certified mail. I just want to put that on the record.
Okay. And I believe you said we had to sign by tomorrow. Is that correct, to meet the deadline?
Yes.
Okay.
And what time tomorrow?
They just really should go out into the mail tomorrow by certified mail. So however the three of you can coordinate that happening, that would be preferred.
Whichever time you can get over here to the clerk's office to sign it, we'll have it ready. And our mail generally goes out about 3 o'clock.
So
Phyllis,
prior to
will
3
you
o'clock.
Phyllis, will you stay there? So whenever I leave my workplace and come there, I can sign it tonight?
Certainly.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do the same.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll hang around.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor. Is there any further clarification or discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Colebrook,
Yes.
Phyllis Clark, yes.
All right, that motion passes. And then the second case, which is number 2020-2, I'll take a motion for that one.
Yes, so I will make a motion to adopt the recommendation by the hearing officer to, forget the language, Deanna, overrule the objection in the Wayne Williams versus Megan McDonald case 2020-002, case number 2.
Second.
All right, moved by Bill and seconded by Phyllis. Is there any clarification or discussion from any of the parties, from Deanna, Bill, or Phyllis?
No.
Nope. Okay, great. Will the clerk please? Yes.
Before we vote, Deanna, did you want to mention anything, or are we good on the earlier discussion?
Well, if you want me to summarize, just.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure. So this case presented really a strictly legal issue as to whether the petitions were in substantial compliance. There wasn't a question about what the contents was. The issue was whether the reference to Ward 5 in the statement of candidacy and on page 5 of the petitions was sufficient under the law to identify the office for which the candidate was running. We evaluated the evidence, heard the testimony, and concluded that in conjunction with the more modern case law, that the fact that the circulator's affidavit indicates that the individuals are qualified primary voters in that district, there's no other possibility of them living in, because of that certification, they must live in Ward 5 to have signed the petitions. So we felt that the petitions were in substantial compliance based upon recent case law, that they're not confusing to the voters. They don't frustrate the purposes of the election code. And if it's a really close case, which I think this one probably could be argued is, you have to vote in favor of including the candidate on the ballot. And basically that's why the recommendation says to leave them on the ballot, is because it's a close case. And I think that the public policy is to encourage the participation of candidates on the ballot.
Thank you, ma'am.
That summary. All right, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Wu,
Yes.
Mr. Colebrook,
Yes.
Phyllis Clark, yes.
All right. Discussion by board of proposed schedule if needed. We don't need that because I believe this is our last meeting. And we are aware that we have to physically sign copies of these now passed items. Is there anything else before this board at this time? Bill?
Yes, it's regarding the actual document that we're going to be signing. I've printed the earlier document, and Deanna, did you say that there was an edited copy that struck out the letters EB on the face of the document?
Correct. I was just making them consistent with the agenda.
Okay. So Phyllis, did you have that latest edited document from Deanna that we'll be signing?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And I can't remember the other edits besides the characters EB off of the face sheet.
01 and 02.
Making sure that the case numbers were correct.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
That was the only change.
All right. Are there any other questions? All right. Well, Phyllis, I will see you in the next 10 minutes. I thank you everybody wholeheartedly for your time, coming together in such a short amount of time and helping us through this process. I really appreciate all of the people who participated, all the comments. And so thank you. Have a good evening. And this board is now done.
Phyllis, I'll see you in 25 minutes. I'm leaving now.
Okay, that's fine. And thank you, Ms. Moule. It's been wonderful having you to work with us.
Thank you. I very much enjoyed working with all of you.
Okay.
Congratulations on being able to adjourn this time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.